Welcome. My name is Llewellyn. How are you today? Thank you very much for coming to my channel. First of all, I want to tell you that that beginning picture really stunk because I blinked. And so it makes me look like I'm really tired, so I apologize. Someone asked me if, as a life coach, as an emotional transformation life coach, if I knew that the stuff that I used or that I'm teaching really works. Yes, it does work. I am living proof that it works. They also said that they didn't feel that their parents loved them because they were addicted to drugs, alcohol, whatever it was they were addicted to. And I'd like to address that aspect of it. And here's my reason why. I don't want to blind you, so turn the light off. I was raised with a woman who, after having us 5 children, we always felt she didn't love us. She wasn't on drugs. She wasn't in alcohol. She wasn't any of that. She just was basically an absent parent. Even though she was physically there, she was not there. And I hope you know what I mean by that. She always told us that kids are to be seen and not heard, and sometimes not even seen. So she wanted us to be scarce, go away, not be around. And us kids growing up always felt she didn't love us. Well, if you've been watching my videos for a long time, you'll know that I was raised in an abusive home. I married an abusive man. And I always had, I guess you could say, issues regarding being loved. Because I wasn't worthy enough. I wasn't worthy of being loved by anyone, so why would anyone else love me? My stepfather showed me he loved me for 4 years. And he had taught me that the only way to be loved was to basically lay on my back, we'll say. And so after he stopped loving me when I turned 11, because that was the time that I became a woman, he stopped loving me because I became a woman. And so what happened was I was looking for love in all the wrong places. I'm sure you heard that song. It was true with me because I was told that the only way to be loved is to lay on my back for the men. And so I did from the time I was 11 until I was about 17 because I wanted to be loved. Who doesn't want to be loved? Well, I did. And so I did what I was raised to believe was the only way to be loved. When I met my first husband, he told me he loved me before we slept together. I thought, this is it. This is true love, man, because he told me he loved me and we haven't done the deed yet. Oh, I felt so loved. It was amazing. It was a setup. I'll tell you all about that later. That's not why I'm doing the video today. It took many years of living with that man, over 13 years, to realize that's not the life I wanted, not the abuse, not any of that. I left the day that he grabbed our 8-year-old son by the throat, literally by the throat, picked him up off the ground, and was threatening to kill him. Had I not come home early that day, I fear that he would have hurt my son to the point where I wouldn't have a boy anymore. So I left, and it took me another, I'll say 4 or 5 years to realize my worth, to realize that I am lovable. Now, mind you, I remarried since then too, because I got married a couple of years after I divorced my first husband, and I'm with my second husband still. And my second husband had loved me before we did anything. And he goes, I don't need that. I need you. I want you. I can live without you, but I want you. And he asked me that too. He goes, can you live without me? It's like, well, yeah, I've lived without you this long. I could do it again. And to this day, I could still live without my husband. But do I want to? No, I love my husband. And in all those years, I have been in counseling after therapist, trying to find the right one that could help me. And none of them worked. And here's the reason why. When I went through all the counseling, went through all the therapists, what happened is I didn't ask them questions. I did not ask them. I did not interview them to see if they were a good fit for my needs. And so I suggest that to you. If you have insurance, you go through your insurance, you go down that list, and you call each and every single one of them. And you say, hey, do you specialize in X, Y, and Z? Or have you had personal experience in G, H, and I? Ask those type of questions. It's okay to interview them because this is your life. Your life. So I finally found someone who's a life coach, which is probably why I became a life coach. And she told me, I don't even know your story. I don't even know it. But this is what you need to do. And she gave me the tools and the techniques and the steps and the exercises to do them. And she'd always follow up with me once or twice a month. Are you doing what it was she gave me to do? And I was honest. Yes, no, maybe, And she told me that doing this is for my benefit, not for her benefit. She can, basically go off the grid and I'd never see her again if that's what I really wanted. And I realized that I didn't, that I really wanted to heal emotionally, mentally. And so I finally started doing it. And it made me realize, oh my goodness, I was putting a condition of love on those around me. And listen to this. So with I'll call her mother because I don't call her that because I don't feel that she earned the title, but I'll call her that for this example here. I always felt that my mother never loved me because she never wanted us around because. And I always told her, well, if you love me, you will come over and visit, you'll come see your grandchildren, you'll do all these things. Now, mind you, with my first husband, I had 3 kids by him. And she really never came over. She wanted really nothing to do with me, which, okay, fine, so she didn't love me. But that's not really true. She told me she loved me, but those were just words. I never got the action that when you love someone, you're going to show them you love them. She did not follow through with that. And so she did not love me, right? Wrong. She loved me the best that she could love me. And here's the reason why. Everyone has different levels of needs. They have different levels of love. If you read the 5 languages of love, you'll find out what I'm talking about. Everyone has their own unique way to be loved or to feel loved. And she was not fulfilling my needs to be loved as a child to the parent. And the parent didn't love me. And I look back now and I can see, yeah, she did. I had clothes. I had food. She did my laundry. She really didn't talk to me, but, that was her way of showing she loved me by making sure I had food, shelter, and clothing. Was it enough for me? Back then, no. I wanted hugs. I wanted to sit on a lap. I wanted to have a conversation with my mother. I wanted to have that connection. But that was my expectation. So my expectations were like really, really high. And she never came up to meet those expectations. And that's what I'm telling you right now. You have high expectations. If you go to someone and say, well, if you love me, you would do X, Y, and Z. If you have a parent that is into drugs and alcohol and you want them to stop, telling them, if you love me, you would stop, is not the answer. Saying that you don't love me because you choose drugs over me is not the answer. They may love you to the capacity that they can love. But that's them. It's not you. You need to come down to their level. And I know it's not easy. Oh, trust me, I know it's not easy. But the more that you put high expectations on someone, the more they're going to fail them. The more they're not going to meet them. And the more hurt you'll feel. I know from personal experience how that goes. If there's one thing I've learned, it's not put expectations on anyone. My ex-husband loved me every time he beat me. And afterwards he'd say, I love you, but you made me do this. I love you, but I love you, except. Don't put expectations on everyone. You need to figure out your expectations of them. Is it real? Or is it something that you just truly want and need? And if it is Maybe you can find it in your child or your husband or your spouse, um, significant other, whatever it is you have, friends even. To have that love isn't always being intimate in the bedroom. Having that love is a real true connection. It is a real true honest to goodness conversation, reaching out to someone, maybe hugs, maybe holding hands, whatever the case is. Maybe even saying I love you. Maybe showing up with a gift just out of the blue just because. Whatever that is, we need to communicate this with other people. I need this from you. Can you do that? And if they say no, that's okay. Because maybe their love level isn't like that. And you need to meet them at their love level too. I hope this has helped some. And I know it's not all the answers, but if you need more help with that, reach out to me. I have gone through this personally. I know what it takes. And I still work through some of the issues that I have mentally and emotionally because emotions never go away. And so, as an emotional life coach, I can tell you emotions never go away. But I can also tell you don't let your emotions control you. Find a way that you have power and control over your emotions. Don't get me wrong. When something bad happens, something bad happens. It doesn't mean we get to wallow in self-pity all day long, every day long, for a year or two. We have to learn that there's a certain time to mourn or a certain time to grieve, a certain time to do things. And there are times. My time may not be your time, and your time may not be my time. For instance, my husband can go a week and okay, he's good now. Not me. I have to go a couple months. But I still do things to take care of myself. So there's still self-care, there's still self-value that I have to do for myself in order for me to work through whatever issues arise at that time. And you can too. If you reach out to me, there is nothing I wouldn't do to help you if we are a fit for one another. So go ahead and email me. In fact, let me put my email address in here. It's llewellynbissell@gmail.com. Just my name. Nothing hard about that. Reach out to me, whatever you're going through. Leave a message here and let me know that if you might be interested in furthering your knowledge in how to take care of your emotions and your expectations on love. We shouldn't put our love expectations on someone else. That's not for them, it's for us. We need to be able to love ourselves first. Without loving yourself, your expectations on others are really high. And we need to realize that. We need to learn from that. And I hoped I helped a little bit today. Please let me know in the comments of what your thoughts and opinions are on this. I'd really love to hear from you. I thank you so much for being here, and you have yourself a wonderful day.